Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another 31 days of cut files for you guys. And unfortunately, the first part of this video actually got corrupted. So I am in the middle of backing my cut file, and I took my cut file off camera and I colored in the actual outlines of the pencils and then the Word document using my Close to My Heart shimmer brushes. So the reason why I didn't record that one and the reason why my stuff got corrupted, my previous video, the reason why I didn't record it is because when I cut an image out of my Cricut and then try to color it with a fine tipped brush pen, the little ledges that the cutter actually creates, I have to sit there and basically cover that whole hill and valley and it's just so annoying. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but I definitely do end up taking a long time to color this cut file, but I do love how it ended up looking and whatnot. So I'm just going to color in a couple of the other gaps and try and create a different, I guess, shade. Because when you color with the shimmers and then you add more color on it, it's almost like working with alcohol. The more you put on, the darker it gets. So I'm going to add a little bit of shading inside the black portion of the pencil, and then, or I should say the lead portion, and then I'm going to shade the actual pencil. Then I get this notion that I'm going to create a shadow behind the overlapping pencils. Yeah. At first I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to turn into a hot mess because the pen that I ended up using started bleeding as soon as I added the alcohol shading. And of course I thought, oh, well, that'll be okay because then it'll look like the shadow, right? It'll be okay. But yeah, I personally thought it turned out like a hot mess. But far away and out, in the distance of the camera, it looks okay. You can see that it's starting to look like a 3D pencil. You can start seeing the shading in the background. I really do like it. There's a couple times that I go back and forth and I show you guys my progress and what I'm talking about up close and personal as to where it starts looking like a hot mess. Here's where I added a little bit darker of a yellow to the shading, just trying to help out the bleeding of my pen that I ended up using. And the pen that I use is it's called a Lee pen or a Le Pen. It was Close to My Heart's journaling pens that they came out with the last year or second to last year that they were still in business. So final result is this one here. As you can tell, it does look like a hot mess close up, but far away, in the back of the camera, it looks great. So the collection that I'm using that I did not get to share with you guys is this old school collection by 49 and Market. I'm also going to be using this denim piece that I used in a previous video, which I think was yesterday's, that I just used to fussy cut out or back my shutter heart with. So I'm going to use this denim to back all of my photos. Yeah, and I don't end up getting all 4 photos on the layout. I do actually end up adding a flip flap to my page. And then the sticker sheet that I'm using, I think is called Simple Stories Documented. I'm not really sure. I actually got it from Janet in one of her destashing. She put together she did a lot of work, you guys, and she put together a whole bunch of scrapbooking kits that had the paper and the embellishments all included. Some of them had alphas included. I mean, it was just a great selection. And I think I restrained myself and only got 2. I know. I was so impressed with myself. And the sticker sheet was one of them. But I believe it was, I want to say it was Simple Stories. It might be so dark to say that it was My Mind's Eye, but I don't actually share with you guys the sticker sheet. Because like I said, that video got corrupted. When I got back from Alaska, I have to say that a lot of my computer programs, like the most recent ones, all of them got corrupted. And I uploaded all of my videos, excuse me, into my computer. That way everything was ready to go. I could come back and get right back on track. And then, of course, I was sick. And on top of being sick, I was, I had all this damage to my computer, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was in the middle of saving and somebody came in and, I had a power bump. One of the kids turned my computer off on accident. I don't know what happened, but a lot of files, a lot of different type of files, movie files, SVGs, JPEGs, doc files, a lot of files were corrupted, but it just seemed to be the ones that I did within the first week before leaving for Alaska. So it had to have been somewhere in that download or upload that I was doing right before I left on vacation. So somewhere in there, it all happened. And I have to say, I was completely devastated, plus the fact that I was wiped out from being sick. I mean, it just took a toll on me. It really did. So anyways, there's the sticker sheet that I keep telling you guys about. Hopefully I'll move this, but I really liked the old school 49 and Market because of these books. The books remind me of the books on the bookshelf in this old school. Oh, it is from My Mind's Eye, and I believe it's called Documented. I don't really remember, but I do like the fact that it was a really good match to this 49 and Market old school collection. But this is an old school house that was actually moved. It's an entire building, and it looks like a barn. From the outside, it just looks like somebody's shed outside, right? It's small enough to be a she shed. But it was the schoolhouse for Ely, Nevada back in the day. I honestly don't remember a whole lot of the details about it. There's just a tiny little plaque on the outside. It does not say a whole lot, but this is where it started, right? With 4 whole desks, and the teachers actually had students, like 2 to a desk, and then it was shared. So like in the morning it was this grade, and then in the afternoon it was this, and then in the evening it was the older children. And so she has textbooks in the back, or he, in behind the desk, of all different grades. Every single grade is listed in the textbooks on the back. And I mean, I just thought it was kind of cool that, instead of going the 6 hours that we do now, the students had to share the classroom and whatnot. And so that was I have to say that was kind of the first time I've seen that when visiting old schoolhouses, right? Normally it's a little bit bigger, and, you've got maybe 2 separate rooms separating the littles to the bigs, but then you're still mixing grades. So the littles go all the way up to maybe 10 years old, and then from 11 years old on up is the bigger children. And so it just seems to me like this was a kind of a cool concept, sharing the classroom like it was, to where the littles come in for just a little bit, and then you had the I don't want to say the medium children, but the in-between children come in for the afternoon. And then, of course, because the older children can stay up longer and don't need naps, I'm assuming they had the evening session, so, and it also gave them the opportunity to go out and help parents work and whatnot right before school. So I just thought it was a neat little concept, per se. Now, there was a lot of other things that were added to the building that clearly weren't part of the building, but basically anything that was school related or team related, like alma maters and things like that, they added to this building. So it's not 110% pure in how it was. Like, this was the building as is, type of thing. They added a bunch of stuff as years progressed. So that some of the textbooks are on the newer side. They weren't way back in the day when the building was actually built. They weren't, some of the banners have changed, the logos of the schools have changed, things like that. And so it wasn't 110% pure to this era, and only, like frozen in time type of thing. But it was still kind of cool because it was the schoolhouse history of Ely, Nevada. It wasn't just this one house and this one history within this one house. It was the whole history. And the more you walked around, the 6 foot by 6 foot building. So it was a quick turnaround. But the more you walked around and the more you looked at things, you could definitely tell that it was a whole history put in one spot, not just, one spot in history. So I'm going to finish this layout using these wishing bubbles from 49 and Market. This is where I use the most of them. And then I finally finish them off on another page. But I'm super glad to be getting these used up. I've had them forever, you guys. So that is my layout for today. I do apologize for the first part of this video being corrupted, but basically all you missed was me sharing the supplies that I used as well as backing the rest of the cut file. And that was it. In all honesty, I have to say that my background page did all the work for me. I felt like I didn't really need a whole lot because of the way the background page looks like I layered up a whole bunch of stuff, and it just really made my layout come together. So I'm really super excited with how it turned out and how everything came to be. So anyways, don't forget to check out the links that I have down below. I have a Facebook group link for 31 days of cut files. I have the links in case you're interested in these cut files, so where to purchase them and whatnot. And then, of course, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is my partner in crime when it comes to 31 days of cut files. She is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube, so please go check her out and see how she used this cut file today, and I will check you guys all later. Bye.